what makes you optimistic? We're recording this in January of 2023, so I don't like to do resolutions but I do like to look forward. Like, what makes you optimistic?
Oh, we still have good people. That's the thing. We just talked about how horrible humans are, but they're also sometimes quite good. And so, I mean, we have a profession filled with people who care. I mean, that's kind of all that matters, I guess, when you're working with people and trying to help people in pain and injured. So people that care are going to keep trying to do better. There you go. That's it.
It's difficult to miss there. And I tell people, I mean, I used to use a different phrase. When I had the choice to hire someone who might be more experienced or better, and I'm using air quotes on a podcast, which is not a great thing to use, but there are the air quotes. When you're hiring someone with more experience or better versus someone who might be less experienced or less skilled, but they had the give a shit factor. It was that give a shit, that care. I used to use this one kid as an example. This kid, Adam, who used to work for us, man, he showed up to the radio station. He's like, I don't know anything, but I really want to get good. And I remember I was the number 2 at the radio station. I was the up and coming kid. And my boss actually spotted him. He's like, we got to hire that kid. I'm like, he just told you he doesn't know anything. And he goes, yeah, but we give that kid a job. He is going to mess it up really bad the first time. And he's going to feel real bad about it. And he's going to do a great job. I'm like, that kid's just going to progress. So I guess if you look at our profession that way, because I feel like a lot of people have been yelling the sky's falling, right? Telehealth, well, that's just going to erode this. I think people race to the negative. I think the negative is easier to spread. It's easier to click.
I think you folks in the States, your bigger issues are like compensation and insurance and all. It's not the people in the profession.
No, you're right.
No.
Yeah, because are you familiar with Marcus Lemonis? He does the show called The Profit.
No.
He's like a guy who rolls into a business, and he's a businessman, and it's like a TV show where a business explains what they do, and they're having problems, and he either chooses to invest his own money or not. And I like how he simplified things. He goes into his 3 Ps, right? He's like, it's people, product, process. And he's like, there's usually a problem with one of those. There has to be a problem with one of those. And he's like, I find it and then decide whether or not I can fix it if it's salvageable. And I think what you identified is, I think the people are great, right? For the most part, our people are driven and they're caring. I think the product that we sell, I remember I said this on stage at our national conference once. I was like, I'm proud to say that this is the product I get to communicate. Like, I have no problem advocating for this profession. I think that our product is good overall. I think you're right. It's the process in which we interact or can be sustained by our profession. And that's the system that we live in here in this country.
Yeah.
Which makes people angry about it, but they're angry at the wrong thing. It's not the people, it's not the product, it's the process.
No, and it's weird. I've changed a lot through the years. I used to be very, even 20 years ago, against modalities, ultrasound and stim and all that stuff.
Right.
We had to, why?
No, I said right.
Right. And I thought it didn't make sense to me. But then now I'm like, you know what? I actually think people might not like this. I think if you care about people, you can actually, the modality doesn't matter that much. You can be a shitty therapist doing exercises and load management, and you can be a fantastic therapist that'll help a lot of people doing stim and ultrasound. It's that person in there and that caring, and then some of the advice that you give, and and I didn't buy that years ago, and now the more I read, the more I see or I would do placements. And I'd be like, this therapist is the worst. I can't believe how much stim is in here or whatever.
Right.
But people got better and people loved them, and I know that just because something is loved, that doesn't mean that people are getting better, but there was benefit to whatever was going on. So, I mean, I'm less harsh, I guess, in my late 40s than I was in my late 20s.